I mean, I still can't buy egg noodles at the store, so battery shortage seems next, right? Like,
Like the little Duracell batteries. That would be bad.
I mean, something's going to happen, right? But Kane, you had a research or a survey commissioned through Daggerfin. What was the stats on that survey?
Yep. So we asked respondents whether, in response to higher gas prices, they've considered buying an electric car. And I mean, surprisingly, only 8% of the respondents actually indicated that they have thought about it. So it speaks a little bit to demand.
How many people were polled or surveyed?
Uh, about 450, nearly 500.
Hey, that's a pretty solid. Okay, so we got some good data over there. And Dennis, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, if you watch those like car channels or shopping for a new vehicle, and someone will make the comment that only 5 to 10% of new vehicle shoppers are seeking an electric vehicle. Have you ever seen that comment?
You know, here and there sporadically. I'm not usually on those car forums, um,
Yeah,
but I
but
have heard that.
you're looking for your new car, so it's like I know you're on YouTube. Like, I don't want a new car, but I'm gonna go look, and it's like me at the refrigerator at 11 p.m. and it's like I know I shouldn't be there, but I'm gonna go look anyways. Um, but yeah, I kept seeing that pop up in the comment section of some of the more popular car forums
Yeah.
or well, comments on YouTube or whatnot. I'm like, is there truth to that? So when they commissioned Agrafin to do that survey, I'm like, this is going to be interesting data. Come to find out, there's some truth to that. So if the demand isn't as high as the media seems to make it, between social media and the TV, they make it sound like everybody wants an electric vehicle and they want to throw every ICE engine in the garbage. And then you see a real survey and it seems like that's not the truth. So the truth is, not that many people right now are really pushing for electric vehicles. Should the Rivian CEO be as worried? Or is it possible they're breathing the same fumes of what social media is putting out, that media makes the demand look greater than it is? Is that possible?
I
A hundred.
just, yeah, go on, Dennis. Sorry.
No, I 100% agree that it's possible that there's it seems like the media is pushing this, of course, to transition over to electric vehicles. But I personally, I'm probably gonna look at an electric vehicle, but I'm maybe I would agree with that stat. I'm maybe 10% of the way there of like actually, maybe test driving one, right? I don't see myself buying an electric vehicle anytime soon.
I mean, I put a deposit on one of those EV SUV Hummer, the Hummer EV or whatever, because it looks like a real SUV to me. I hate how electric cars look like electric cars. They're small. They all look like they're from that movie Wally. And then I'm afraid that we're gonna look like the people from Wally one day with like no legs, and we're just drinking 84-ounce sodas in wheelchairs. I just don't like the look of electric cars. And the Hummer came out, and I'm like, wow, it's an electric vehicle that looks like an SUV. Have you ever seen one of the Rivians on the street by chance?
I have not, no.
You know what? I just saw one over the weekend, and I obviously you could tell the difference from afar, right? And I'm like, oh, that's probably a new EV vehicle, and I'm just waiting for it to drive by, and I'm like, oh, it's a Rivian.
So I'm walking down the street in Birmingham, and we see one on the street, and I was like, oh man, that's that new like Rivian. And I was joking, maybe I should get one of those. And my buddy's like, where am I going to sit? Because I'm on the larger side of people here. It looked like a really small toy truck to me. And just looking at it, I'm like, I'm gonna have to take the front seat out so I can sit in the back seat and drive. It just didn't feel like this is a truck I want to spend any kind of substantial money on, if that makes any sense. But that's kind of all electric cars to me. And then if you see a Rivian next to the new Hummer truck, it's a significant difference. And I know not everybody wants a big vehicle. It's just, you ever feel like you're paying twice as much for half? Like, it's the car seems really expensive, and I feel like I get less car. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
It's like going out to dinner in like Paris. You're expecting like this big meal, then you get you get like a 4 ounce of steak. You're like, okay, here's what we got to do. We'll
When you
order
said
4 of those.
when you said petite fillet, like you said, bring out. Can I get 3 more? Oh man. What are your thoughts?
Obviously,
Go
I
ahead,
was
Dennis.
just going to comment on the whole the approach of like finding the right mining and having the shortage of that and not be able to produce the batteries here in the US. And I mean, that's going to just be a big, that's what the article is going after, is we're not going to be able to compete with who's going to get the batteries first and how much are going to be available in the future when EV vehicles become more popular in terms of consumption.
I don't think that's like a big. Like, I don't know if today is the issue, which we were talking about demand. I can see if they're looking down the supply chain pipeline,
Yeah.
5 or 10 years, and I get that. There was when we pulled out of Afghanistan, they were talking about like how much like cobalt or lithium or something Afghanistan was sitting on, and it was a $1 trillion or $3 trillion treasure of battery material that's now China's probably going to have direct access to, and we won't. I still wonder in 10 years, are we even talking about batteries? I have a feeling there's going to be some new technology that comes along, and we'll find out when we get there. But I don't know, Kane, what are your thoughts?
I'm still trying to synthesize the demand part, because a lot of the messaging that you've seen with the larger automotive companies is this push to electrify their entire product lines. Right? I know GM is trying to do that aggressively. So what are they seeing that our data, that most of the data that's out there is showing that the demand isn't there right now? Are they so good that they can look into the future and then shift product, the specifications on their product before demand gets there? It's just a very curious thing.
I mean, if you look in throughout history, they haven't been that great at being harbingers.
Yeah, right.
I just think that they're looking at the political climate, what's going to get pushed from a government level, and they don't have a choice. This is where I'm a car culture person. A lot of people say that electric car people aren't car culture people. Doesn't mean they can't be. It's just something they say. But I don't see this big push from most people I know for electric vehicles right now. The media and social media overhype it. The car companies, I think the car companies have to push it because that's how they keep their stocks up.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that if you do this, you get the Tesla effect and you get treated like a tech stock. And next thing you know, your stock's going up. But I think this could be a giant case study in business one day where you're watching companies cater to a demand that's not there, which seems really stupid to me. I thought like what Chrysler and Dodge was doing, all those fast cars, around here, they're everywhere. People were buying them like crazy. They were affordable to a point. Now they're going to stop making them. It's like you were on a roll. People wanted the Trackhawk. They wanted these Hemi engines. This is what the people wanted. You gave it to them and they bought it. Now what are you going to give them? I've never seen anything in the business world where you saw like companies cramming something down people's throat that the masses really weren't asking for. So I'm just, at some point you just don't have a choice. You're going to have to, are they going to do, cash for clunkers, but are you going to have to like trade in your gas vehicle for an electric vehicle? Do they see that coming? I mean, that screwed up the used car market and that hurt, lower income earners for a decade. Are they going to push the same thing down our throats in 5 years? Maybe they see that coming.
Yeah. What about even there's that famous Steve Jobs line of, I don't remember what it is, but basically that like the public doesn't know what they want. You just or it's something along those lines. And I wonder if everybody's bought into that sentiment too, where if you force feed the public the a kind of product, they'll eventually get to it.
Well, Taco Bell was trying to tell me I didn't want the Mexican pizza, and now they're bringing it back. I mean, it makes sense when it comes to innovation, and then that's what I think Steve Jobs was getting at. It's also extremely arrogant. It's like walking into a restaurant and the chef goes, "This just comes with onions because you don't know what you want." No, I don't like onions. Don't tell me what I like and don't like. It never seems to work at the end of the day. It's why we all got brand new MacBooks, right? The new Mac Pros.
Yeah.
Did you notice that after Steve's not around anymore? And what was the other guy? Johnny Ive. I'm probably screwing his name up.
Yep.
They're gone. And we went from the MacBook. Well, we all had the MacBook before this one. The fan was so loud you couldn't record. It would overheat. The battery sucked because they were so worried about it being thin and aesthetically pleasing. Because we're going to tell you that this is what you wanted. You know what I wanted? I wanted a goddamn laptop that worked. That's what I wanted.
Don't fall off.
Where the keys don't fall off. That's what I wanted. And that's so where I think they got too caught up in this design aspect and trying to push this down our throats that they completely forgot about functionality, what the consumer needs to do their job every day. So I understand Steve's point on that, but you saw where it was taking us. I had an M&M roll off the top of my nightstand and it hit the top of my MacBook and dented it. Like, it was beyond ridiculous. So to me, it's like if you go to anyone with half a business brain, is you find out what the customer wants and you give them it. Is that not how you make money?
That seems more logical to me, for sure.
Or let's go create solutions for problems that don't exist right now. And I think we're really good at that as a country. We're really good at creating solutions for problems that are a decade away. And in this case, sometimes being early is the same as being wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
There's demand here. And they got to work, they got to get some market share going. But my other thing with batteries is there is no like zero cost to the environment, right? It's neither one of you ever like smash open batteries when you're a little kid.
No.
All right, I'm the only one.
No, I did that too.
I remember back then as a kid, I'm like, that's probably not good for me. Like looking at the stuff inside of a Duracell. And I think we're literally picking our poison right now. Do we want like nuclear? Do we want coal? And if you look at how bad batteries are for the environment, I don't think there's no like zero cost to the environment. I think with coal, we can figure out a way to put like a gigantic cigarette filter on top of the stack and like try to control that, right? I think about having, hundreds of millions of these batteries floating around the environment, these huge battery packs. And how do you recycle them? Where's all this waste go? It's these are things that I don't think we fully have come to terms with just yet. And then I'm looking at when we're talking about a battery shortage. Is that the worst thing in the world right now?
No. Global hunger, war. Could name a few.
Few things to worry about. I don't know. But I mean, it's a threat to Rivian, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they exist right now. Rivian's got to compete with, Tesla on however many contracts they keep winning every month. And then obviously the big three are doing their best to accumulate as many contracts for mining, and China, going against China and their whole push for EV. It's a lot.
I don't know. All I know is if Elon ends up buying Twitter, somehow Rivian sucks is going to be trending every day.
Yeah.
Well, why does this keep trending?
Well, the other thing that could be happening is like speaking of the stock price, the CEO could just be trying to tell a story to keep the stock price up and push away the fact that, like, kind of like Tesla did early days, where you push away the fact that you have to deliver vehicles. Because I know Rivian's production is very, very small. And but if you keep telling the story that, like, okay, there's a supply chain issue, we're not going to be able to get the battery stuff, that all this kind of thing, you never have to deliver the amount of cars that you probably need to justify the stock price.
And Ken, you mentioned this several times on other episodes that does anyone really want to fix the supply chain issues? It gives you a reason to justify why your stock or just overall financial performance sucks. It sometimes gives you a reason to increase prices and keep prices high, to, in a sense, control demand until you can get operations under control. So, we had a little bit of fun early in the episode, but I really think that's part of the bigger issue here is, what's Tesla sell right now? 1 million vehicles a year off the top of my head? Million and a half.
Yeah, sounds about right. I don't know.
Rivian's talking about selling tens of millions of. I get it. You got a long ways to go before that happens. So are they looking down the pipeline 5 or 10 years right now? Find another solution. Battery technology is going to change. I do see this partly as we're not doing as good as we thought we were, and I need an excuse. It's everyone that had to hop on an earnings call in the last 12 months trying to explain why numbers might be down, when the reality was we had $10 trillion pumped in the system, and everyone ran to Target and Amazon with it. Everyone looked like rock stars. But it was then you got to get on that earnings call and then justify why the numbers are down. Well, supply chain. It's not that the money's drying up. It's supply chain issues. We can't get the products to sell, like egg noodles.
You just make egg noodles, you know that.
I got enough free time to go do that, right?
You're right. Oh, dear. Another thing, Dennis, you might have some insight into this, is are these electric car companies changing their human capital to actually, like, to meet the demand of, I guess, and making an electric car, I figure, is probably not so different than making the traditional ICE car, but there's got to be some changes. And Dennis, are you seeing people hire differently?
Well, I mean, they've been known to just pay a ridiculous amount of money for, attracting talent. I mean, because they have to. There's a little bit of a risk going into one of those startup and EV vehicle type markets. In the candidates that we speak to that have opportunities to join, like a Rivian or a Lucid or Tesla, their mindset is, I'm going to shoot for the moon, and in terms of salary, because they need my type of expertise. And I think that definitely affects long term, what candidates' expectations are for salaries.
Do we have enough people with the mental acuity to do technology at this scale is the other question. Like, it's more robot heavy. There's more technology involved in all ways. Yes, Tesla can go through and soak up, the top 10% of the market, but is there enough talent right now for everyone to go full EV design, engineering, production?
My answer is no. I mean, unless we start bringing in, whether it's people from China or India, or just we just need engineers here. The U.S. does not have enough talent to support what their expectations are and how many cars they're going to be building.
Well, the problem is now India and China is trying to hang on to those people,
right?
Because they're developing their own Teslas. And there was an article. Maybe we can do another episode on this, Kane. I think you might have brought it up, but there was less of the top engineers and technologists coming to America because some of the incentive is getting removed from company. You come here to become Jeff Bezos. You come here to become Mark Zuckerberg. And it seems like there's less and less of that opportunity, or crushing the billionaires and all this type of stuff. It's like, well, I might as well just stay home. and try to build something here. So I think we're not even attracting that anymore. And then I think that other countries are like, well, wait a minute. We need to hang on to, and we need to create our own Tesla. We need to create our own TikTok, for example. I don't know if we're going to see that massive rush of, top 1% of brain power trying to break into the doors into the US. The world's changing.
Well,
Yeah,
one stat that go on, Dennis. Sorry.
No. Go, King.
One stat that blew my mind over the weekend was like the number of foreign-born people in the U.S. is like it's only like in the low teens as a percentage of the total population, which I always thought that there was a massive like immigration base in this country, and apparently there isn't. It's only 30-40 million people. So if there's so much pressure from at the kind of White House level to push EVs and get away from fossil fuels, then there's got to be some sort of policy level support for this industry. Otherwise, like you guys are saying, how do you get the talent base to do this?
The tech companies now are, it's that thing. Well, Dennis, you experienced this in the search industry, especially on the technology side, but there's levels to it, right? There's someone can put down these acronyms of technology on a resume, but it doesn't mean they can do it at a high level. Let's say the greatest coder in the world's a 10. Sometimes that resume doesn't look significantly different than the person that's like a 5. How well you clean the code, how innovative you get. There's so many things that come to technology. And that was what we were trying to do in the last decade when, people were complaining about Microsoft and these companies hiring immigrants. You don't understand, like, yes, there's someone out there with a resume that's got these keywords on it, but they can't really push us into the future. We were trying to recruit from the whole world the best of the best so we could be the greatest innovators in technology. Without that, we can't thrive. And if that dries up and we can't keep pulling the best of what the world has to offer, can we really can we keep our competitive edge when it comes to technology?
Yeah, I mean, my answer is no, just because we've allowed our competition to creep up on us. And, depending on certain views, there's a lot of folks now that don't look at the US as like, I got to get there and try to have that American dream. I think that's slowly been on a decline. Obviously, there's some countries out there that you want to get the heck out of, but I just don't think we have that edge as we did even 10 years ago.
I don't know. Rivian's going to pack up and go to Singapore. You could probably sell like one EV for like 300,000 USD.
Oh, we also talked about, this on another one of our sessions, the amount of people that are buying cars or getting licenses, right? The younger generation, is that slowly going to be on a decline as well as the years go on? Or people are just going to be buying less vehicles? And I think you still are dealing with the generation, probably maybe I would say like mid 30s and up, that still enjoy, having a nice, loud engine in their vehicle. And then you also get the younger generation that's not really driving or interested in buying a car, or, not being able to afford a car. So it's like a weird spot of like, where does this EV market land in the next 5 years?
For our generation, cars meant freedom. I remember like, hey, Dad, where's the keys to the truck? I went around to the party store. He's like, you're 14.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't wait to just go and have that freedom. And I think we're very content with staying home now. You can get your groceries delivered to your house. Grubhub brings food to your house. You don't got to go to Blockbuster and get a scratched up DVD. You play Netflix. We don't even leave our house anymore. So why do you need a car? And going for that drive, windows down, music up, just the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but freedom today, James, is like gaming for hours, Netflix binging for hours. That's the freedom that we're looking for.
Yeah, my friend's kid, like, come on, bro, I can go for a drive in the metaverse. And I'm like, man, go eat your Taco Bell and shut the hell up. Like, talk to your father for a minute. Like, okay, what you just read something about? What were you saying that the number one reason men in college drop out from video game addiction or something?
Yeah, right, exactly. Men have this, I don't know what it is, but this predisposition to getting addicted to video games. It's the reason why men aren't doing as well at the college level than females.
Yeah, I'll do a whole other episode on that one, but I don't know.
Can I put a pin on something you said that I thought was really good and I think maybe just got missed? Like you said, scratched up DVDs, like they were always scratched up.
When did you ever get a DVD that wasn't scratched?
That was such a good reference.
No, because you'd watch a movie and it would like skip, and then you wouldn't realize it fully skipped. Yeah. And then you'd miss like 15 minutes of the movie. And then you're talking to somebody like, oh yeah, that part where Bob gets shot in the audio. I'm like, what part where Bob got shot in the audio? Because the whole thing skips. You never even saw that part. Oh man.
You're like wiping the scratch as if it would go away. I remember.
Oh man, you hit that with Windex.
Yeah.
Like that guy in the Greek movie. And
yeah, everything fixes. Windex fixes everything.
Windex fixes everything, but not a scratched up Blockbuster. I mean, sometimes I just went up to Blockbuster just to get the snow caps. Like I didn't get a DVD. Yeah, bringing back memories. Anyways, battery shortage. Who would have knew? Let's hope technology just changes, and then these issues go away. That's all I got for this one, guys.